Right, good morning. Back. We are ready to go, I think. Let's go here. For anyone who's new, if you don't know, my name is Tim. I go by Foamy Guy on GitHub and Discord. I stream here on my channel usually on Saturday mornings around this time, 10 a.m. Central Time, working on stuff related to CircuitPython. If you don't know what CircuitPython is, you can learn more about it at the main website here, circuitpython.org. It is basically a version of Python that runs on tiny computers called microcontrollers, like these ones. The way it works typically with CircuitPython is you plug this device into your computer with a USB cable. It shows up like a thumb drive, and then you can edit a Python code file on there. When you save the file, the microcontroller will execute that Python code for you. The code itself can interface with whatever other peripherals you hook up to the microcontroller. Some devices, like these Raspberry Pi Picos on the top row, are very general. They don't have very much built-in hardware. They pretty much rely on you connecting anything else you want to do with it. Other devices, like this Circuit Playground, has a bunch of stuff built in, like NeoPixels and buttons and sensors. This macro pad has Cherry MX key slots, as well as a little display and a knob, so it's kind of a purpose-built little device. You can still program it the same way, but it has a lot more built in, and it's less of a general purpose thing. All these devices support CircuitPython. As always, we will say thank you to Adafruit. Adafruit makes CircuitPython possible by paying a team of folks, including myself, to work on it. If you want to help support them and CircuitPython, as well as other open source software that they fund, you can do that by purchasing hardware from them at their website. CircuitPython is open source. Anyone's allowed to use it. Anyone's allowed to port it to their own hardware. Anyone is allowed to fork it and change it to do whatever you want. You could add stuff to it. You can change it. You can do whatever you want with it. It's permissively licensed open source software. And Adafruit pays people to work on it and publish it under that license, which I am biased, but certainly think is pretty cool. They also do publish other open source software that's unrelated to CircuitPython entirely. Like there's loads and loads of Arduino drivers, as well as other open source projects that Adafruit publishes. So thanks to them. If you want to support them, purchase hardware from their website, adafruit.com. You can get microcontrollers. You can get all sorts of stuff to hook up to your microcontroller to build fun and interesting projects with. So jumping in today, I am more or less picking up where I left off last weekend on Saturday. Actually, real quick housekeeping note. Let me say, because I remembered here. Scott's out on the next couple of weeks, so I am doing deep dives on Friday, which means I will not be streaming here on my channel on Saturdays the next couple of weeks, most likely. So the 6th, 13th, and 20th. So like basically the next couple of weeks here in June, I won't be back on Saturdays, but I am streaming on Friday afternoon, evening, 2 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Central, my time, 5 p.m. Eastern, over on the Adafruit channel. And then I am also streaming there on Tuesdays now as well. So Tuesday morning, you can find me there too. So diving in back, kind of picking up where we left off last week. So the thing I worked on last week was a runner script that interfaced with web workflow to allow some other software to be able to run a piece of code on a CircuitPython device and then get back the results of whatever that code output. 1 second. Music change, it turns out. Go here. And we got that working, but while I was working on it, I ran across a few things that I wanted to fix. I made an issue for one. I think I talked about one of the other ones being a way that I preferred to do it, even though it didn't work yet. So today I am going to work on at least one of those other things, and then if we get that done, maybe I'll look into the other one as well. So we are inside of the circup repo. there is a tool that comes bundled with circup that is called wwshell. This tool allows you to basically manage files that are on your CircuitPython device. You can push files to the device. You can download files, like pull files back off of the device. You can make folders. You can move stuff around. Well, okay, so you can't move stuff around yet. That's actually what I want to add in this case. So you can currently, what you can do with it is download a file or directory. Why is this cut off? Is it really cut off when you run it? Huh. Why are these cut off? Maybe I need to do... to get the full one? Work. Weird. Okay. If there, so like the two questions are there actually more to it? And then if so, we should find the more to it in the code, theoretically. Yeah. Okay. So that would be another cool thing to fix, but that's even further down the list, is it would be nice if these were complete dots instead of cut off with an ellipse. Like, I don't see the need for that, especially because in this case there's like 3 more words that basically make the rest of it make a lot more sense. So what we have now is get, list, create directories. It says create also. Where's the rest of this? Create. Huh, there's just nothing else. Interesting. Okay, we should add to that. All right. I do have a certain goal in mind, adding a move command / like rename. It's kind of the same command basically. But I will also pick off small things like this is clearly just missing the rest of its thing, so I'll do this real fast. So make dir creates create a directory on the device, or is that implied? No, they say on the device. Okay, so let's do that. Create a directory on the device. Specified name. Technically, I guess a path, maybe? I don't know if it works for deeper paths than just a single name, though, so I'd have to test that before I was going to actually put it in the docs. We can delete stuff, we can upload stuff, we can download stuff, we can list the contents, we can create directories. Currently, what we cannot do is move stuff, like rename stuff. But I think that the actual underlying API for this has a move thing. What's up, C. Grover? Nice to see you, my friend. So these docs are a little confusing to me, so it'll take a second for me to wrap my head back around this. I was in it for a while when we first made wwshell. But I don't mess with it directly all that much, so I don't remember the exact like HTTP API here. It's a little, I remember finding it weird. So there's put. All right, so that's uploading a file. There is downloading the file. Move is what we want. Okay. Okay, yeah. And then I was discovering this last week, and okay, this is coming back to me a bit. I was discovering this last week, and this was blowing my mind. Did we look into this? Is move like a legitimate HTTP verb that I just didn't know about? Is that a real thing? It's non-standard. Was a WebDAV. Okay, I did look into this a little bit. WebDAV. Interesting. Okay. But other than that, I think it is just an HTTP verb, like just put it in place of get or put or whatever, and I don't think it makes any difference really. I think it will work basically the same. So move, so we would, how does the, so we are, I should look at the curl thing, I guess. I should focus on the curl thing, which is making it a little bit more clear. I almost wish there were like a different kind of example, like with the URL written out or something, but so, okay, so X destination, that's a header. That's where we're going to put the target where we want to change it to, right? So ultimately we're renaming a file, right? We want to give the current name of the file, the new name of the file. X destination is the new name. Surely it would not need FS? I would not think that it needs FS. For the destination file. For the URL, yes, because I think this is on /fs, right? The endpoint like this. Wait, move is up here. Oh, this is for a directory. So this is where I get tripped up, is like, the URLs are like, I don't know where the URLs are. So fs directory path. And so that URL has get, put, move. Interesting that get and put are both shouty, but move is not. And then delete is shouty as well. It has that. And then file path instead of directory. But that's like the same thing, really, right? I don't know. This one has put, get, move, delete, and that's it. And then we go into CP, which is different stuff. Okay. Yeah, so the URL is definitely FS and then file. So here, for sure, you need FS, I think. This one, I don't think you would, though. Seems odd that you would. Okay, let's try this out a little bit. So I have web workflow already enabled, hooked up. All this stuff is ready. Why don't we create a file called, I already have actually a something.py. Could just rename that. So grab this. Not quite all of that though. Make a little scratch. The destination, I would like to move it to root changed pi. Location trusted? What is that for? I don't know, that one seems weird also. I don't think this is gonna work. This resolves for me sometimes, but it wasn't earlier. And then fs, so it would be fs, we're not inside a lib, we are at the root, so something.py. So we send the move request to the URL fs, the file we want to move, and then the header destination has where we want to move it to. Updated some IR remote control functionality for the movie prop. Nice. Movie prop project, essential for executing the prop lighting motor cues off camera, was tricky for my skill level, but necessary to use async IO, working with a more general case now to publish as a playground note. Hey, that's cool. Yeah, I don't think I've seen, I don't recall at the very least ever seeing IR integrated with async IO before, so that's pretty cool. For sure. Yeah, and I can see definitely the being able to trigger it from off screen and such is like super handy, I imagine, for director or whoever's trying to get it filmed. Roll this. Okay, that was a lot of... Okay, so if I recall correctly, I think 201 is like success. I think created is a little bit awkward since it was moved, but... Okay, so theoretically... Anged? Did I mess up the name? Maybe you do need the FS. Oh no, what happened here? Oh, or this was from last... Was this from last time? This might have been from last time, I think, actually. Can I delete this? Okay, so I definitely did have something.py, but now I have anged.py, which seems odd. Wrong file. Huh. So maybe you do need this. Interesting. So this time it won't work because now it's anged. Try something. Okay, there we go. Yeah, now it's back to this. So you do need the FS. So this is correct, but it's not. It is not part of the path though, definitely, because there's no FS folder. So, and then just to verify now, we could go something here and we could go changed here. It would actually work. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's go back to circup then, and commands here. We have a what's the command we have that's the closest to this? We don't have one that's super close. I'm going to use get though because it has 2 arguments. So the first argument is going to be the... I think this is basically just going to be the exact same whether it's a directory or a file. The only difference is you would just not... It won't have a file extension, but I mean, files can exist without an extension also. So really the only difference is you just have to know that it's a directory that you're... I mean, really, there's no difference, I think. There's just no difference, honestly. And Git downloads a copy of a file or directory, but it just takes an argument called file. So I'm going to keep that. It's not trying to do like file or directory or anything, which is the same for us. I think we can take a file or a directory, but I don't think it's worth trying to like... Well, I think it should be consistent between them is really what I think. It might be nice if it was more descriptive, but destination. File and then destination required. This time it's true though, because we have to... Yeah, we have to have a destination, otherwise we can't move it. That's part of the deal. Get CLI, so move CLI, context file, destination. Oh, rename a file or directory on the device to the specified destination. Actually, let's make this slightly more generic, because it is called move, and you can also use it to move stuff. Like, you could move something into the lib folder or out of the lib folder if you wanted. Which is kind of technically just a rename, but rename so let's say rename or move a file or directory on the device to the specified destination. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so click echo running move file destination backend move file destination. This doesn't exist, I don't think. Or it does, but it just was not hooked up in the... We don't have move file. I don't know what that thing was finding. One question though is... Does this... Should it exist on the disk backend as well? I mean, wwshell doesn't use the disk backend at all, to the best of my recollection. So, I see less of a need, really no need for the disk backend to have move, because really move is a low-level thing. The only reason why the web backend needs move is because it's on a remote device and we're using the web workflow API. Which is not just a simple command, right? If you are running circup or wwshell at the terminal, because they're command line things, so you're running it at the terminal, and if you're doing something disk backend to move a file on the device, you could instead just move the file on the device directly with a terminal command. So I don't really see a need for it to exist, or even a use for it, honestly. I mean, I guess you could still use it if it existed, but there's really no reason to do it through the backend object, right? I think. So I am gonna start by copying what? Maybe upload? Copy file? Copy file, I think, is always going local to remote. Yeah, see, this is checking os.path.isdir, so this is on the local system. Fine, though. It takes 2 arguments, and it sort of does a little bit of what we need. Move file, so we are going to have target file, destination, and then to keep consistency inside of this file, I'll keep it as target file, even though in the other one it was just file. We're kind of at 2 different layers here now. So target file, destination. We are not doing this thing anymore. It's not really a deal. Yeah, one issue that we have actually is this is not doing a regular request, which I kind of want. Okay, auth session, get the session, URL join, the location, the FS, the dirt path. No, this can't. I don't think this should be allowed to be blank. So this is just going to be FS target file. Why don't we go, if not, should this raise here? I don't even know if it needs to raise here, because the only thing that calls it is the command line. Well, that's not entirely true, actually, because the whole point of this was getting back to the agent skill script that can run and read, which skips the command line and calls the backend. So maybe, yeah, let's say if target file is none. Actually, let's say if not target file, because that will trip on none, as well as empty. All right, so get the session, FS, target file, authentication headers, accept. So we are not getting back any JSON, but yeah, we're not getting back JSON. I don't think it matters if we set this. You know what though, I'm gonna keep it for a second just in case it like refuses to answer us since we didn't have it. And we'll put it back. We want X destination. That is gonna go to the destination. But so one decision is where do we want to cut out the FS? I don't think you should have to pass FS to here. So I think that this should add the FS. So it should be like this. Was it is slash? Yeah, and then this ends in a slash, which is why it's not there. Yeah. Destination. Why is this mad? I haven't closed this. X destination header, timeout, and then, but this is not going to return files as are, I mean, does it need to return something? They don't all have to return, do they? They pretty much, well, like, I don't know, upload file? Or one doesn't seem to return anything. This one doesn't return anything. Raise for status. I think we'll just do that. Ironed out, raise for status. If it's an error, then it should raise an exception. Otherwise, we're done. This is an extra indent, is it? Yeah. Okay, object, move file, file destination. So one thing is, yeah, no, we're gonna put the FS in there. So yeah, so we don't need the FS anywhere. Running move, file destination, move file, that's gonna call here. Target file destination. Yeah, should be good, I think. So let's try this. I think it should be installed to where I can just do this. So like wwshell to be host 243. Move. When did we leave it on? I don't remember. All right, so right now we have changed.py. Let's go changed.py. Move it to something.py. Cannot find the connected device. I don't even think we made it to here because we did not see this get printed. The host wrong? Does the host need to be HTTP? IP. Host name or IP? Port. The default port. Two, 3, 4. There you go. Okay. Oh, no, that didn't work. Move changed something, but we still have changed. We don't have something. Okay. We made it farther. So we saw this. Well, not this. This one. We saw this. We called move file. It would have been inside of here. So let's start tracing until we figure out where it fails. Maybe let's go click.echo status. What? So that's weird, because success is 201. I don't even... The only things that are documented as returning 200... We didn't set the verb. We have not set the verb anywhere. Session.get? Should this be... Oh, I don't know if we can do this. Is this gonna... I don't think that's a thing. That is not a thing. Okay, so maybe we can do request. The rest will all be the same if we do... Ooh. There we go, 201. That sounds better. Always off by 1 errors, huh? Yeah, there we go. Now we have something. Okay, cool. Oops. So we can go now the other way around. Something to something else. Yeah, cool. Okay. Do not need that. We can get rid of the extra prints. It should only raise... It should only raise when there's an error, I think. Or it should only really print when there's been an error. Sure it works. 401 client unauthorized. 401, no, 404 client error. The URL was not found this time because there's no something.py because we renamed it to something else. Okay. So those raised correctly. We don't need to... I mean, I guess we could print that it was successful. Might as well do that. Move. Complete. Good. Complete. Something else to something. There we go. I'm gonna do the full word here. I don't know. I think it makes more sense. The command or whatever, mv, I think it makes sense to use because we're using rm and makedir. We're using a bunch of other sort of predefined things. So, should have doc strings. Move a file or directory to another location to the specified destination. Rename or move. Okay, cool. So this would be nice in the case of the thing that I was doing because it would allow me to not need... You know what we might be kind of cool, actually? Well, I'm gonna do that. kind of going slightly down the rabbit hole of like not renaming stuff to CodePy, but let's not worry about that right now, I think, actually. Yeah, this will be nice because it will mean in the thing that I worked on last week, we don't have to rename it to CodePy locally before we upload it to the device. We could upload it to the device under whatever name it is. We can then move it from that name to CodePy. And what that will mean is we actually well, no, because we're moving, we're not copying. That's fine. Yeah. Theoretically, we could do copy. I don't know. We don't want to build up all the files, I guess. But also, this is just generally kind of helpful to be able to rename files. Like, a thing I do a lot is rename my CodePy to code underscore whatever is inside of it, some descriptive thing for whatever's inside of it, and then make a new CodePy and put new stuff inside of it. So being able to do that through wwshell would be convenient if you're working on web workflow thing. So the other issue. I wonder if my script works for this. So no Sphinx. Yeah, that doesn't work. I don't know the command to build the docs. Yeah, I remember it's like all these things, but I don't. I get the same error. Configuration directory doesn't contain a comp file. What version of Sphinx is it installing? So I noticed this is 9, which feels awfully new. This just does pip install though, so it's gonna get whatever it's gonna get. But it's under Python 3.11. Well, let's just make the PR. Do we? I don't know why this. I don't know why this is here. Is there a pre-commit? Yeah. Does this? I am gonna have to get the Sphinx thing working. If I want to be able to do the other thing that I had in mind that I found last week, which is that the wwshell docs are not included in the circup docs for some reason. So there's docs here, which just has content circup contributing API license. There's no wwshell. Doesn't exist on this page. But inside of docs, it's trying to add it. It's just not working. So that's the other thing to try and fix, essentially. Reuse failed. I don't think this stuff is checked in. I don't think this stuff is checked in. I really wish reuse could like not target stuff that's not checked in. Reuse or pre-commit. I don't actually care who or which one solves that problem. But I wish one of them would. Though I have asked the pre-commit person about it, and they don't seem very enthusiastic about solving it. So, it's gonna be on reuse. Maybe we should try updating it. Where's this at? This is in tests. None of this stuff is checked in. Suppose I could delete it. Not really hurting anything though. I mean, it's making this pre-commit fail, but on that, it's not really hurting anything. And these are all files that are not checked in, so they're gonna matter when it gets to the PR. Does this get listed automatically? Yes, nice, okay, very good. Still with the ellipses, which I wish it didn't do also, but that's a different thing. File. We'll see if the doc's spilled here. And or we could see what version of Sphinx it's gonna get. Config directory doesn't contain a conf.py file. And then it links to circup. I need to be inside the docs folder. I'm running this in the wrong directory. Here's your problem. Okay, well, there's your problem. I'm running this in the wrong directory. Both my script and probably the real command work fine. You just have to run them in the right spot. Figure out where the build is. There it is. This will open in the right one. Did not, so that's convenient. Oh, now it's there. What? What? So in my local one, it's there. I don't know if we can actually really... But it is different. This is 904. I had 910. I'm on a newer Python than 3.11, which is probably why. I wish I could see the docs that it built here, but I don't think I can get those. Could I, like, modify it temporarily to make an artifact? If that's feasible. Or can I... So the actions will run in my work? Okay. So I could make my own branch that just stays in my own thing. Did I update this when I started? I should have updated this if I did before. wwshell docs. Alright, so this is just from main. This is just from main. Let's delete the files that are there. Build, let's delete those. And let's run the docs build again. Okay. This definitely has wwshell. Although it does... Yeah, it did. I was gonna say it doesn't link to anything, but it did actually. Okay, in the other branch, we should update the doc string. But it also won't matter if it's not showing in the docs, which it's not on the live page. So we will need to figure out if there was some error with the live page that is just fixed now, or if there is currently still some error with the live page that is not fixed, but it's only with the live page, and when I build it locally, it doesn't have that problem. Where? So one thing is, I did just merge this PR before the stream today, actually. I wonder... .5? We should update that. Theoretically... Oh, these show failed. Maybe there's your problem. What? Why do we have... Oh. Where's the rest of the file? What does debug do? I shouldn't have clicked that if I don't know what it does. Alright, well, plot thickens. It seems like we're just failing the builds every time they run for a while now. 2 years ago, last time it got a successful build. Oh dear. CircuitPython 3.7. Yikes. Alright, this is not the same error. Whatever, I don't even know. It's unclear to me if this is an error, honestly. But let's not worry about 2 years ago. Let's worry about now. Another thing I will say that's odd is that I didn't run one recently, like, because I merged that thing just a minute ago, well, like an hour ago at this point. I would have thought it would run more recently, but maybe it's on to... maybe it only does on release and not on push. Oh, from there, like I wanted to check something. Okay. Well, that explains that. So it only pushes to read the docs whenever there's a new branch or tag, which in the case of the Adafruit repo would be basically whenever it gets released, not when it gets merged. Because when it gets released, it will make a new tag. Config file validation error in build.os, value build not found. That actually sounds pretty like it makes sense, right? In config, there should be a build.os, build the OS. File? Where's the file I'm looking for? Dot value build.os dot value build not found. Thing is build.os. I don't think it needs to be not that file. It should be this file. Oh, that was that file. That was the whole file. Interesting. Okay. Probably there's probably something new that needs to be in here, I guess. Yeah, let's just go to a library. Yeah. There's this whole thing now that's like doesn't seem to have existed before, all kinds of stuff. Probably we don't need both of these, I'm guessing. And there is no docs requirements. But I think there should be. Basically going to be the same as this, I think. What's this? Was this updated? All right, and I don't think that changes the local build at all, because this is only in the read the docs config, which really only affects what read the docs does with it. So let's say update RTD config. Let's go back to this branch, which I probably should have named differently. What are you gonna do? wwshell help, so that we get the updated version of this output, which includes the move command, and that now goes wherever the docs for wwshell came from. It has a readme, so it might just be in the readme. Yeah, it's just the readme. I need to indent it after I paste it. I don't know, was there, did I add an extra line? Yeah, so there was 2 lines and now there's 3. Oh, actually, make dir was not there either. Interesting. Huh. These increase? How are we gaining spaces here? Because make dir got added. And it has more letters than the rest, that's why. Okay. Alright, so this is update wwshell help output in readme. Let's make a separate PR that will try to fix the docs. Trying to fix the docs build is hopefully get wwshell listed in the public, in the live page. We'll resolve. I don't know. 7.6. This one passed the second time as well, so that's good. So that would give us the ability to move. Hopefully the other thing will fix the docks. Trying to think what else, if anything, I want to get into. One thing I should do actually while I'm here is make a new release, because I did merge this from a while ago. And this basically was fixing some error output to be more clear. Thanks, by the way, to Jesse Adams for this fix. It's from a while ago, actually. It got a little bit lost in the shuffle, but thanks to them for the fix. It's a good fix. It was really confusing. Honestly, I think it was basically just backwards the way it was listed before. So this is all about when you try to install a library, if there's not enough room on the device you try to install it on, and this is whether you're using web workflow or the disk workflow, the normal circup stuff. It used to output this, which is like showing an untrue logical expression, basically, right? It's a little weird. The new one's a lot more clear. So yeah, thanks to them. We will make a release. It will fail the docs build because it doesn't have any of the fixes. Oh, okay, was it in the old docs where I saw that 3.5 or something? Anyway. Oh, there's two, actually. The other one didn't get released. I don't know. Grade reuse. Yeah. That's true. So, improved error message and update reuse. Latest. Yeah. Okay. I'll check on this. I mean, I presume no reason why this would not fail the same as the others. Part of the actions, though. And it would be part of the webhook that gets initiated as a result of that tag getting created. Going the wrong way. The list. Not just have a list? There it is. Did just have one. So this created tag 302. That should have triggered the webhook. But not appear to have actually done so. What is 406 response? Pull request. Actually, it sends the webhook on pull request too, and pushes in branch and tag creation. So it should have worked on it. It should be. It should not have required a release. What I'm trying to say. What's today? Today's the 30th. 11/19 failed. I don't know if these are like tokens or whatever. I don't want to show any of this on the stream. So sorry, this isn't the most riveting thing to look at. There's a lot of, I think these are hashes and stuff. I don't know. I don't think they're tokens, but I don't really know what they are. So I don't think we should be showing them. What is a 406? Not acceptable. Oh. Rough. Huh. Alright. Not acceptable. That is not acceptable. I don't even know what to do about that. I mean, presumably we are... Presumably, I don't know. It's not working right. Yeah. All right. Let me try logging into this as well. Again, sorry. There's a lot of this I don't think we really want to show on the stream. So, because I don't know where. Like, there's secrets and there's tokens and there's lions and tigers and bears. Oh, you can't search either, which is... I do wish there was a search here. All right, and then that's about all we get before we are back to secrets and stuff, so... Apologies, but... Come back to over here for a second. Integrations, GitHub, incoming webhook. There have been 10 exchanges. Recently, I guess that means. Why was there one 23 hours and 3 minutes ago? This project is currently disabled. Okay. So it failed a bunch of times in a row, presumably whenever the format of the config thing changed. Like, I'm guessing, in my head, here's how this probably went, is like 2 years ago, after the last successful one, somewhere along the way, read the docs changed, which we had a patch through the libraries for this as well, I think. So somewhere along the way, read the docs changed their configuration syntax requirements. This one, circup, never got updated. Therefore, it started failing to build. After it failed 25 times in a row, they disabled it. So now when the incoming webhook comes in, it doesn't even try to build. But that's not true, because we saw the error on the builds page. This led me to here. I don't know what disabled means actually then, but what I don't get is, well, okay, but then this is from 3 months ago. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so apparently up to 3 months ago, we had not failed so many times that it got disabled yet. But then that must have been the last one. That was the last straw. I don't know, there's like 4 pages of these though, right? So that's more than 25. Maybe this one like broke the streak, I guess? I don't know why. One's yellow, but this is like 10 per page or something, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is 15 per page. This thing said 25? Definitely failed more than 25 though. Yeah. Okay. I think that with the change from here, oh, I think with the change from here, it should fix it so that read the docs builds either won't fail or hopefully will give a different error about why they failed. Like it's possible there's still something wrong with the new config. This is never gonna load. I don't know. We're doing this fake GitHub thing. I don't know why GitHub has decided that it's like best to pretend that it's gonna load when it is clearly not gonna. Pins around. Nice. So let us think about the order here, because if we I think we should re-enable it first and then merge this and see if that works. And then if it does, we make the release. If it doesn't, we make a new PR to try to fix the next error. Yeah. All right. So we're going to do what this thing says. So it's been automatically disabled. Please fix the build issues, re-enable builds by unchecking this from the project settings, which is what I'm going to do. But again, I don't know if it's about to show any tokens or anything crazy, so I'm going to move it. All right, there's nothing really too crazy here, so I will bring this back. And it's basically, it seems like it's flopped these two, so, well... I don't know what this means, honestly. I'm not going to mess with that one. So I'm going to uncheck disable. I don't know why this is like that. I'm just going to save. Oh, okay, but this one is going to fail. So I just re-enabled it. It instantly triggered one. I'm not actually sure why it instantly triggered one. I guess it just does that. Which failed for the same reason as the last one did. Okay, cool. But that was right now, so if we go back and merge this... then... we should get a new trigger and a new build. I guess I could I guess I could rebuild it? It does not... it's not building from just the merge. That's really weird though, because on the GitHub side, I swear in the webhook settings, it had... I think I still have it open. Yeah. On the webhook settings, it has pull requests and pushes are both checked. So push... I mean, main just got pushed as far as I understand it, because we merged that PR into main. But it didn't actually trigger anything. Alright, so I'm going to retry here. Rebuild? There was an error starting a new build. Okay, I don't suppose the error was any more specific than that, was it? Or just nothing? Useless. Okay, very good. Then we really can't test it, I don't think, without releasing. So we release, I suppose. Three 303. Tempt docs fix? Should we be should we be optimistic? Maybe we should just say update RTD config. Get ahead of ourselves whether it's gonna fix anything or not just yet. Okay, so we made a new tag. Okay. Quickly make sure I'm not a robot, I guess. And send a post request somewhere, so now the page doesn't reload normally. That's very cool. No. Did it re-disable it because of the fail? This is actually super frustrating, honestly. I don't know why they... It should give you 25 new ones. I shouldn't be here doing this part. It should give you 25 new ones. Why does it just fail again and then lock out again? That's annoying. Which is also why it didn't let me do the rebuild button. Which I guess is maybe also why it didn't trigger from the push either. Like all of that was it just instantly re-disabled itself. All right, well that's good to know that while we try and resolve this, we literally have to go and check that every time. That's a super fun workflow. We probably did not even have to do the whole release, honestly. I bet if I had re-enabled it after it failed before I merged, then it might have like worked and done it on push instead of only on release. Anyway, I think I'm probably going to wrap it up after this. So we'll see if this builds. If it doesn't, maybe I will attempt one more thing, but we are probably wrapping it up after that. Or maybe even before. And if it does succeed, then I'll probably wrap it up as well too. I think it's just not started, or... I want to know what this debug does. Ah. It failed. Make sure the keyname requirements file is correct. So that will have failed and then re-disabled. Invalid configuration key requirements file. Ah! Did I seriously not delete that? I even was like talking about deleting that. Okay, before I even push, re-enable it. This will never work. This will never work because as soon as I re-enable it, it builds and fails and then disables itself again. So, that is super aggravating. Okay. So we just can't, like, we literally just have to try PR merge re-enable. That is actually really annoying. Okay. Can't do anything about it though. I can't believe I didn't delete that. I looked at that. I think I even said out loud, like, I think these are the same thing. This is the old version. We don't need it. And then just didn't delete it. And I can't see the output. Okay. It's like I can't see the output because now it restarted. Now this doesn't show up here because I used the same branch. Okay. I do think I'm going to wrap it up there. Maybe I'll ping Dan on this one. See if he's still around. It'd be nice to try one more today, but I think I'll just do it later on today if this one gets approved. But we made some progress. The docs were a little bit more messed up than I had thought previously. I thought it was just not including wwshell because of some thing. I don't know. I thought it was going to just be a syntax issue or something in the actual docs. Like Sphinx is pretty specific about like, oh, you got a tab in the wrong spot, or the indention's wrong, or there's not an extra empty line, or there's all kinds of things like that that will break Sphinx. So I thought it was going to be something like that. And it was actually a much deeper problem where the docs are not even building due to being disabled, due to failing a bunch of times, due to having the config file out of date. So now we know. We tried to fix it, didn't work quite all the way. I got another one. Hopefully that one will work. If not, then I at least know what the problem is to keep iterating on it. But that's going to do it for the day. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. I do hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Saturday and a great weekend. Like I said at the top, I will be not streaming the next couple of Saturdays. I will be on deep dives Friday afternoons for the next few weeks. So I'll do those on Friday afternoon on the Adafruit channel. Whenever Scott's back to doing deep dives, then I will be back here on Saturday on my own channel. In the meantime, I will also be over on the Adafruit channel on Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Central Time. Disabling the project in this manner seems unintuitive. Yeah, it's kind of like I get it. After it fails 25 times in a row, I can get them not wanting to continue to use the resources to build it over and over again. Although I think maybe that we pay them, but I'm not sure. In any case, either way, I can kind of understand them stopping to try, but I think we should get more than one attempt whenever we re-enable it. I think we should get a couple. It would make it a lot easier to resolve for sure, but thanks for the stream. Yeah, for sure. Yep, thanks for hanging out. Like I said, so long, farewell. I will see you all not next week at this time, but Tuesday over on Adafruit channels, Fridays for the next couple of weeks there for the deep dive on Friday afternoons. So long, farewell. I will catch you next time, even though it will not be